Okay, I'm not happy about this. This is the second time that is just quit on me. And I see that you're following me back. I don't know what the hell is going on. It just quit. I restarted the page. I don't know. I apologize. And it sucks because I'm like, talk, 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 talk. What? And then it quit on me. Okay. Yes, Judith, thank you. What is real love? All right. So we are going to, so I'm going to start with, oh, this is what I was saying before I got so rudely disconnected. How do we how do we know what real love is? And obviously we didn't, because we were in abusive relationships with a narcissist. So obviously we didn't, because of our, because of whatever past led us up to open that door for a narcissist to walk in. Okay. Whether it's, obviously we have no boundaries. We don't know what those are. We have no self-love, which is what boundaries require, is self-love. We have open doors and we have really, honestly, we have, speaking from my own, for myself, I had really fucked up ideas of what love, marriage looked like, right? I had the models of my mother and father. I had the model of my father being abusive, so the whole family, but especially my mother, and I had my mother staying with him, right? So, and not doing anything about it. So I had these models that really subconsciously, unconsciously, I didn't even know they were forming my view of what love was, what I thought was love. So I was all sorts of messed up when it was no wonder I got into the mess that I did with narcissists. No wonder. I was a perfect target. This is not to say, and I just want to remind all of you out there, because this really pisses me off when they say this, because this is total victim blaming. If you hear that you attract narcissists, or you attract assholes, or you attract abusive men, no, that is not, no, because you know what that does when we say we attract, that sounds like that we're just standing back, not doing anything, and they're just, we're putting it out there. That lays the blame at our feet, like it's our fault, right? No. Instead, I say that because of our lack of self-worth and boundaries and self-esteem and on and on and on, and what we've been conditioned to think about love, that means our door is open. So it's very easy. Like my door was wide open. Like I had double doors, just like huge double doors, wide open for any type of abusive guy to walk in. Okay, I digress there for a second. So I want to point out, I did a lot of research on this. Mainly my research was just like thinking about it, and also watching people that I knew around me, and watching people in the world, or when I was out in public, or as far as what is a healthy relationship? What does that look like? Because I was so, my brain was all kinds of twisted. I didn't know. I couldn't even write it down. As far, if you would have asked me especially when I was in the marriage, what does an emotionally healthy person look like? I don't know. I don't know what I would have said. I wouldn't have been able to like write two things down. I don't know. I don't know what it looked like. Yeah, like Sarah saying that she didn't know either with her own parents. That's what happens to us, is once we start uncovering, like once we start flipping over those rocks to see what's underneath, it's like, oh God. When you see that one mouse in your house, you know that there's 20 more on the walls, right? So we know that once that ball starts rolling, I'm going to read from my book because I can't put it a better way as far as what a healthy relationship and a healthy person looks like. Okay, a person who is emotionally healthy and not abusive will not play mental games at your expense. Even if you just go by that, people, right? We know what narcissists do, right? Healthy people do not play those games that narcissists do. He won't leave you walking on eggshells, wondering what mood he's going to be in, nor will he possess a Jekyll Hyde personality that leaves you guessing who's going to walk in the door every day. Oh my God, I used to have such stomach aches because I was on pins and needles around the 5:30, 6 o'clock hour every evening because I didn't know who was walking in. Was it going to be, hey, great guy who's like, hey, so glad to be home, and oh, what'd you cook up for dinner, and da-da-da, or was it going to be sullen and moody, and I'm not talking to you, I'm ignoring you, or I'm going to give you the silent treatment, or who knows? That's not a healthy person. They don't play those games. A healthy person would come in and say, you know what, babe, I had a really shitty day, and I'm not in a great mood. So would you mind if I just, took some time and went and chilled out? It's nothing to do with you. I'm just not in a great mood. I'm feeling kind of down. That's what a healthy person would do, right? Oh, I love healthy people. I do. I love healthy people. So a healthy person will make mistakes, but he won't intentionally cause you harm with those. And if he does hurt you, he'll do everything in his power to remedy it, right? A healthy person who loves you does so with integrity and will not leave you questioning that love on a regular basis. Yes, hands up for with a narcissist, how many times you were questioning how he felt about you, if he really loved you, if he was cheating on you, if you were actually the one, right? Like when we're in it, right? Victims of narcissists, that's where we spend our time, is in question land, right? We're constantly questioning what's going on and how he feels. Again, change pronouns if you want to. Okay, here's the list that I'm going to put the copy of the piece that I wrote, copy and paste. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. I just went to another tab. Okay. This is the piece that I wrote just because I'm going to read these, but this is good. Go look at it, pin it up, put it on your wall, right, as you're meditating your way through the healing and recovery process. These are things you need to face. You need to face. Okay. What does real love do? It opens its arms and embraces you without conditions. Keyword, without conditions. Real love is the water and you are the flower. You will never die of thirst. It keeps its promises, is humble and forgiving, and expands with your happiness. It is a campfire that never goes out and will always keep you warm. That's that safe feeling you get with a healthy person. You don't get safety with a narcissist, right? You don't feel safe. Sometimes you think you feel safe, but it's a false sense of safety because then it's ripped away from you. Real love lights up when you walk in the room and misses you when you're gone. It makes mistakes, but it doesn't repeat those mistakes, especially if they hurt you. It expands with your growth and it wants to see you succeed, right? Narcissists don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you fall. They want to see you fail. They want to see you go down, 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 down. That means they can go up, 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 right? And it enables you to sleep well at night, knowing that you are safe in its arms. Real love does that. When you're with a narcissist, you don't sleep, right? You don't get good sleep. I don't know anybody who's been a victim of a narcissist and came out of it without having some sort of sleep problem or sleep deprivation, right? Because you don't feel safe. It's just as simple as that. You just don't feel safe. You're in a constant state of, what's he doing? What's he thinking? What's coming next, right? Okay, what real love does not do. This is what real love does not do. It does not ask you to make yourself smaller so it can take up more space, right? I have a literal picture for you, translation of that. So we used to have a ballroom. We were both professional dancers and teachers, and we would have lessons and do shows and have parties and all sorts of that. So we were very, very social with lots of people. And in any of our, most of our social events and stuff like that were in the dancing realm. But any large social group that we were in, right? He expanded. If there's a room and there's so much space in the room, he took it all. If there's so much oxygen in the room, he took it. So I would have to so I began, and more over the years, I began shrinking, right? And into the corner and becoming smaller because he was becoming bigger. That's not love. That's not love, folks. You know, that to me, that's a horrible way to treat somebody. Like, who does that? Narcissists are egomaniacs, right? They have to suck up everybody's attention. And especially like my ex, oh my God, it was like he was a magnet or for, you know, for every vagina in a 50-yard radius. It's just gravitating toward him, you know, and he's like I would just sit back and watch the one-man show. This is not love. This is not love. Did I beat myself up for putting up with this for years and years and years? Hell yes, I did. But you can't do that. You can't beat yourself up. That's not fair. You've already been through enough. Okay, real love is not threatened by your brilliance. This kind of goes back to it again, or your ability to change and adapt. How many of you, this was one thing he would say to me constantly, wow, you're not the girl I used to know. You've changed. As though it were a bad thing. I'm like, okay, I met you when I was 29. I'm 44 now. Hell yes, I've changed. I've learned, I've grown, I've, you know, all those things. So narcissists tell you, you know, they don't want you to change, or they use it against you like it's a bad thing, right? They don't want your growth, because the smarter you get, the bigger the chance that you're going to start seeing through them, right? Because we're all smarter than narcissists. We just don't realize it at the time when we're in it. Again, same thing. Real love doesn't ask you to stop shining your light or force you into the darkness. Real love doesn't do that. It doesn't ask you to shrink so that it can stay comfortable. It does not demand your silence. This is funny. The narcissist that I was married to, because we still don't have a name. I don't know. I can't think of a name. I don't like to say my ex, because that sounds like possession, and no, he's not mine. God forbid. No, thank God, right? But there were ways that he would silence me. One of the ways was, let's say if we were going to, I don't know, look for, especially like looking for a big buy, like a car, right? And y'all know women out there, car buying, you know, most of them are men, the salesmen, and there's a whole thing of how they treat women, a lot of them, and, you know. So he would always tell me, you know, as though I was the stupidest person in the world, and I don't know anything about, like, even what I like in cars, right? Yeah, he would tell me, you know, right before, like, we'd get there to the lot, and right as, like, a salesperson was coming up to us, he would whisper, and he's like, okay, you know, just try not to talk so much, right? Because you get a little too emotional, right? So let me handle it. And then I think he beat his chest like Tarzan, but I may just be imagining that. The other thing he would do, we would be out with friends, and I remember one night in particular where we were out with a couple that were close friends of ours. And I was super excited to get, I hadn't been social in a very long time. So I was super excited to get out. It was like a dog that's been inside a crate all day, right? And then you go open the crate. And that was me in the restaurant with our friends, drank too much wine, and I got really happy. So I was talking to, and this is like a couple hours into it, right? And I'm super happy. Like I'm just like talking, and me and the other, well, we're laughing and whatever else. And then all of a sudden he reaches under the table and he squeezes my knee really hard. Now that squeeze I knew was, shut the fuck up and calm down. You're embarrassing me. I need you to be quiet. Because this is what was happening. I was stealing his thunder. I was having fun and I was talking and conversing, and that was, no, you can't do that with a narcissist. You can't steal the show from them. That's the worst thing you could do. This isn't love. This isn't love. Real love is not insecure, needy, or devious. It doesn't scheme, bully, or deceive. It just doesn't, period. That's why. Print out the list. Look at it. Have it be your healing Bible, right? It's not going to kick you when you're down. It's not going to blindside you. It does not talk behind your back, which is all that narcissists know how to do in their smear campaigns. It doesn't lie about you to others. And it's not going to take up all the air in the room while you suffocate in the corner. This is not love, right? So these are things that you have to ask yourself in the healing and recovery process. You have to accept these hard truths of that. This is going to help you get to that place to understand that, no, he didn't love you. If he did these things, that's not love. That is not love, absolutely. And the good news is that once you accept that and once you know that, then you're going to be so empowered to know what real love does look like, right? And then your door will be closed to the abuse disguised as love guys out there, open for the healthy ones, right? It's of course not that simple, but in essence, the logic is that simple. As far as you just need to, again, I know when you're in it and you're in the most painful part of trying to get over this person, I know this is all painful, of coming to terms with who you invested your, mind, heart, and soul to. Maybe decades of, maybe years and years and years. Maybe you had children, all of this, all your blood, sweat, and tears are in this person. And so to accept that they're not who you wanted them to be, right? That's tough. So I'm just making sure I don't miss any comments. Okay. Why are these truths so hard to accept? Because we're still, when we're in that tender place of healing, right? And for all of you out there who are in that place, and when I say that tender place, I don't mean, and when I say at the beginning of your healing journey, I don't mean like 2 weeks out. I mean, yes, that too. I'm talking like you can be 6 months, you can be a year, you can be 2 years out, and you're still tender and hurting and trying to recover, right? Because especially if you're in a place where maybe you only recently discovered that he was a narcissist, maybe right before this, you had no idea, you just thought you were the crazy one and nobody understood you, and nobody was believing you, right? So whatever place you're at, it's still a tender place, and it's hard to come to terms with what has happened to us. Of course, that makes total sense. It's very difficult. That was super hard for me, and like I said, that's why I went back once, because I just couldn't. I wasn't ready to admit those things. I was on the side of, you know what? Like when he was hoovering me back, and I did go back, then I started doing the excuses, like, oh, well, he, deep down he really loves me. He just made a bunch of mistakes, and da da da. And this is like after 16 years of all the lists all those things on the list of what is not love. The good thing is that anytime you shed light on the darkness in your life, anytime that you go through the pain, like you just dive right into it, right? Just head first, and you feel it, and you get dirty with it, and you just ask yourself super tough questions, and then you answer those questions, right? Anytime you go through that process, I guarantee you, you're going to come out on the other side in the light when you do that, right? And it's going to be all worth it. Like I was talking about the other day when I was comparing it to labor, having a baby. Same thing. It's not a matter of whether you're hurting. It's just the degree you're hurting. Are you in a peak of pain, or are you in a valley, or whatever it is? But the whole thing is painful. And then when you get to the climax of all the pain that you can handle, and you still push through it, you still get through it and come out on the other side, that's where the beauty is, right? And that's where real love is, waiting for you. That's where it is, because then your door will be open for real love to come in. So just make it your new motto that you're not going to believe this stuff that people tell you about, that you attracted this. No, you're not believing that. Okay, it's not true. You did not attract it. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, it's just that you had a door open for these kinds of manipulators to come in, for these narcissists to come in. That's it. You had a door open. Figure out why that door was opened, and we'll talk about that when we're gonna. I think tomorrow would be good. Yeah, let's just continue this, and we'll talk about that in the healing process of why those doors are open, and the main part of healing, especially in the very beginning of your healing process, is avoiding victimhood, right? Because that's going to keep you stuck for a long time. I was there. I took up residence there, changed my address to victimhood for a while in the very beginning of my journey. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I do appreciate, I love all the comments. Yes, for myself, I love to read all your comments, but it's so great for everybody else who's joining us, to read everybody else's comments, just so we can, unite and see that nobody's alone in this. So I really appreciate everybody, putting their truths out there. Nothing bad can come from telling the truth, right? It may be embarrassing, it may be humiliating at times. I know for me it was, when I had to face some hard truths about myself. Maybe painful, but in the end, that's where the beauty is, guys and gals. That's where the beauty is. Okay, so tomorrow again, I'll see you tomorrow about the same time, same place. And until then, I already put the link in to read that. I also want to, a lot of you know, I say this every single day, but Chris Godinez is like amazing expert woman on everything, all things narcissist, and she's a fantastic and spectacular human being who, if you can get in her presence, I highly recommend it. She has a really successful YouTube channel. I'm talking and copying and pasting at the same time, forgive me. She has a really popular, that is, has viewers from all over the world. And you can check that out by going to our event page, because we go around the country and talk to small groups of people about all things narcissist. We're going to be in Reno September 14th. If you're in the area, I would love to meet you, see you, give you a hug, receive a hug. I love hugs. And it's just a great place because, it's a few hours on a Saturday that you just come together with us, and you can get, support, advice, tell us your story, get some hugs. So Reno is next. Then, you know, just go to the event page. I highly recommend, if you know that you're going to come to one of these, is to buy a ticket, because as soon as possible. They do. Our last two were sold out because we do keep it small and intimate. Okay, no, that is not what I put in, that link. That is my scheduling. The link I just put in, see, I cannot talk and copy and paste. Okay, here's what I'm doing, people. I'm putting in, that's the Eventbrite link. It says Eventbrite. That's where Chris Godinez is. You can see more about her, find her YouTube channel. She's on Facebook, and also our events. The one before was my, if you'd like to schedule, I opened up, you know, the rest of today is done. I think there's a couple openings. I opened some up for early next week. But if you want to just hop on a call with me and chat more about your situation, I say this a million times, you know, we're all on the same road. It just happened to have, it just happened to be farther down that road. So it's kind of like talking to me about, you know, if you're still back in that experience, think of it like this. So if you were to talk to yourself 10 years ago, however old you are now, if you were to talk to yourself 10 years ago, you would have fantastic advice for your 10-year younger self, wouldn't you? You'd have fantastic advice because you had traveled that road. So you know the pitfalls, you know the obstacles, you know the challenges, you know the mistakes that you're going to make, you know the regrets that you have, right? So you would tell your 10-year younger self, you'd have great advice. So that's what I do. You know, when you talk to me and I'm here, and if you're anywhere back here in the darkness, or maybe with a toe still stuck in the darkness, you know, it's just good to talk to somebody who's been there and who can understand, because so many people don't understand what it's like to go through what we do. Okay. Yes, Bonnie, awesome. She's going to buy me a drink. Maybe I'll buy you a drink too. Then we'll have 2 drinks. Okay, good. Yes, and again, if you want a signed copy, to win a signed copy of my book, just share any of my videos. I get a notification that you've shared them, and I'll put you in drawing. Love to you all, especially strength and hope, sending boatloads of it to you who is still struggling right now, if you're hurting. Just sending lots of strength and hope your way, especially if you're in a place of hopelessness, because I'm here to tell you, and said it before, I'm the poster girl for you can do this, you can find your way to the light and to a fabulous life that's waiting for you to be a part of. Okay, everybody. Ciao for now. Ciao for now, brown cow. And I will see you tomorrow.